What really makes my day is to make a connection with somebody. I had spent the first 3 years of college before I transferred out with Bob and Eric and John, and they were awesome. They taught me sex, drugs, rock and roll in a real way, not in that high school way, but in that way that I would always carry with me. They taught me how to cook, how to screw up, and how to dress like a clown. They were awesome guys, and we all eventually went our separate ways. It had been a long time since we'd been together. Met in '74, and now it's 20 years later, '94, and we're going to have a big reunion. First time that my future wife was going to see all these guys at one time together. They're bad enough alone. They're fantastic when we're together, all four of them. So my friend from Ocala and his girlfriend, my girlfriend and I met in the airport over in Tampa, and we were all excited. We're going to Austin. It's going to be great. And we don't get on the flight. They give us $100 a piece. So we got to wait until the next morning. It's all terrible. My wife and Bob's wife have to go buy panties and toothpaste. So he and I go to Spencer's Gifts. I don't know if you remember this place, but you could buy gag gifts there. So we went in there and spent all our money on that. I don't even remember using their toothpaste the next morning. But the fact of the matter is, we were up till about 3 o'clock in the morning, and the next flight out was at 6, so I really didn't get any sleep. I got on the plane, I sat beside Bob, we talked the whole way, reminiscing and planning to use our gag gifts against Eric and John when we got there. It was really exciting. When we got there, we flew into Austin. They actually live in a little town about 40 miles north of Austin. So they said, oh, no, no napping. We're not going to the house. We're going to show you around Austin. We did this series of things that we probably should have been arrested for, like moving the statue, the finger from the Statue of Liberty off the star in the middle of the Capitol building so we could sing Deep in the Heart of Texas. We ate some tacos and such. Oh, I lost my timer. Oh, well. We ate some tacos. We had a bunch of beers. We got back to the house. They said, let's build a big fire. Huge fire ring, maybe 10 feet. Next thing you know, there's a huge fire. All their friends come out there. They're introducing and telling stories on us. Just fabulous. The night went on and on. I was so exhausted. I can't remember about half of what happened, except that every time I was with Bob, Eric, and John, I had these moments that made my day. Over and over and over, I connected to these people like they were the brothers that I have biologically, like I had known them all my life, like they'd never been out of my life for the last 3 or 4 years. Freaking beautiful. Eventually, the party started dying down. The ladies went to bed. My friend Bob fell asleep somewhere. Eric was gone. It was just John and I. About 3 o'clock in the morning, the fire had died down, just the two of us there, and he started talking about his mom and his dad, his brother that he had lost. I shared everything that I hadn't shared with him already, and believe me, there wasn't much. We were so much in love with each other at that point, so trusting of each other. I finally said, John, I can't take it anymore. I've got to go to bed. He said, the sun's getting ready to come up. I don't care if you haven't slept in the last 36 hours. We're going to go to the barn, open the doors, and watch the sunrise. I thought, oh, my God, I don't know if I can do this. But I couldn't tell him no. Next thing I know, I'm literally sitting on a hay bale in Texas with the doors open, watching the sunrise. And John says, do you hear that? And I didn't hear anything. He said, go wake everybody up and tell them to come out here right now. I went in the house. There were 7 of us, including John. I went to them in their bedrooms and said, get up, come to the barn right now. And I heard outside a helicopter landing. Everybody's like, what? I said, no, come on, right now, we got to go right now. I hear a helicopter. And they're like, what? Finally, they're stumbling out. They're like, oh my God, and the helicopter lands. And the helicopter belongs to the governor of Texas at that time, Ann Richards, who I had seen because in a bar down there in Austin, we saw her real big, beautiful gray hair, this tall, riding a motorcycle, famous Texas governor. Sure enough, her helicopter pilot had to have a certain number of hours, and he'd gotten behind, so we put all 7 of us on this 8-seater helicopter. We flew over the Capitol building. We flew over Lake Travis. We flew over all this wooded area. I couldn't believe it. We've all got earphones on so I can hear all of them. Everybody's got a different view depending on what side you're on. Unbelievable. We came back and landed, and I went inside, and I laid down beside Karen, and I thought, did that really happen? So you might think that flying in the helicopter made my day, or being in Austin and seeing the sunrise from the second story of a barn sitting on some hay. You might think that it was connecting with Bob and Eric and Karen and everybody that was there. But what really made my day was going in there and waking them up at 6 o'clock in the morning and making them go outside.